Welcome to a new Sleep Dive episode. If you're new here, be sure to check out our other episodes and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Tonight we're learning the Obesity Code, so get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow your body to sink deeper into relaxation. With each breath, feel the tension melting away. Now imagine a gentle wave washing over you, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. This wave carries away any stress or worries, leaving you feeling calm and peaceful. As you continue to breathe deeply, your mind enters a state of tranquility. You're moving into the delta brainwave state, a realm of deep relaxation and profound learning. Imagine you're in Australia, about to embark on an unforgettable adventure on a big red tour bus.
Australia. The perfect setting for creating a memory palace, a powerful tool for remembering information. Think of this bus as your very own memory palace, ready to be filled with vivid images that will make the concepts from the Obesity Code stick with you long after you finish listening.
Exactly. Each stop on our Australian tour will be a distinct location, brimming with unique details. And within each stop, we'll create multiple memory slots. Think of them as fascinating points of interest to store specific keywords and concepts from the book. We'll number these slots for easy recall.
Remember, no backtracking on this tour. We're moving forward, building upon each concept as we go. The key to making this work is to create multi-sensory images for each keyword. Don't just see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, even feel it.
Let's start our journey at Uluru, that majestic sandstone monolith rising from the heart of the Australian outback. Our first memory slot, right at the base of Uluru, is dedicated to insulin. Picture a giant insulin molecule shimmering under the desert sun.
Now zoom in on that insulin molecule. It's not just any molecule, it's holding a thermostat labeled body set weight. See how the insulin molecule controls that thermostat, directly influencing your body's weight. This image encapsulates Dr. Fung's central argument. Insulin is the master hormone regulating our weight, not simply calories.
Wow, that's a powerful image. It's like insulin is the key that unlocks our cells to let in glucose, the energy from the food we eat. And when insulin levels are high, it signals the body to store fat.
Precisely. Now let's move on to memory slot number 2, still at Uluru. This time, focus on the color of the rock, that deep burnt orange. Let that color represent leptin resistance. Imagine the rock surface becoming resistant to the sunlight, just as our bodies can become resistant to leptin, a hormone that tells us we're full.
So when we're leptin resistant, our brains don't receive the signal that we've had enough to eat, leading to overeating and weight gain. It's like the sun's energy can't penetrate the rock anymore, and our bodies can't recognize the fullness signal.
Exactly. Now let's hop back on our bus and head to our next stop. The vibrant city of Sydney. Our first memory slot here, number 3, is located at the iconic Sydney Opera House.
Okay, I can see the Opera House shimmering on the harbor. What concept are we linking to this location?
Picture this. A giant plate of white bread is slowly morphing into a massive wave of insulin, about to crash over the Sydney Opera House. This visual represents refined carbohydrates.
Ah, I get it. Refined carbs, like white bread, quickly break down into sugar in our bodies, leading to a rapid spike in insulin levels, that giant wave crashing over the Opera House.
Precisely. And those spikes in insulin, over time, contribute to insulin resistance and weight gain. Now for memory slot number 4, let's move to the bustling heart of Sydney, right in the middle of the central business district. Picture a giant billboard flashing the words, "Calorie deception."
This reminds us that focusing solely on calorie counting can be misleading. Dr. Fung argues that it's not just about how many calories we consume, but the types of calories and how they impact our hormones, especially insulin.
Exactly. The billboard represents the idea that a calorie is not simply a calorie. Different foods have different metabolic effects on our bodies.
Wow, this memory palace is really starting to come together. I can already feel those images solidifying in my mind.
That's fantastic. Remember, the more senses you involve in creating these images, the stronger the memory will be. Now, for our 5th memory slot, let's shift to the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
All right, I'm picturing the Harbour Bridge. What image are we creating here?
Imagine a giant, juicy steak hanging from the bridge's arch, sizzling over a barbecue grill. This represents protein leverage hypothesis.
Okay, I see it. The protein leverage hypothesis suggests that our bodies prioritize protein intake, and when we don't get enough protein, we tend to overeat other foods, especially those high in refined carbs and sugar, to meet our protein needs.
Exactly. And those excess carbs and sugars, as we've seen, lead to those unwanted insulin spikes. Now, for memory slot number 6, let's head to the Royal Botanic Garden in Sydney. Imagine a beautiful butterfly flitting from flower to flower, representing intermittent fasting.
I can see that butterfly gracefully moving between blossoms, just as intermittent fasting involves periods of eating and periods of fasting, giving our bodies a break from constant food intake.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And by allowing our insulin levels to drop during those fasting periods, we can improve insulin sensitivity and help our bodies burn fat more effectively.
All right, time for our next destination. Where are we headed next on our Australian adventure?
Let's journey to the Great Barrier Reef. For memory slot number 7, imagine colorful coral reefs transforming into vibrant fat cells.
Okay, I see it. And amidst those coral-turned fat cells, our familiar insulin molecule is busy directing the construction of even more fat cells.
Exactly. This image highlights the role of insulin in fat storage. When insulin levels are chronically elevated, our bodies become more efficient at storing fat, leading to weight gain.
This memory palace is incredible. I feel like I'm learning so much while on this virtual tour of Australia. What's our next stop?
Let's head south to Melbourne, the cultural hub of Australia. Our first stop here, memory slot number 8, is at Federation Square, a bustling meeting point in the heart of the city. Picture a giant scale teetering back and forth, struggling to find balance.
This represents the idea of hormonal imbalance. Dr. Fung emphasizes that obesity is often the result of hormonal imbalances, not simply a lack of willpower or self-control.
Precisely. And just as that scale is struggling to find equilibrium, our bodies can struggle to maintain hormonal balance in the face of modern diets and lifestyles.
This is fascinating. I'm already starting to see the connections between these different concepts.
That's the power of the memory palace. Now for memory slot number 9, let's move to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the iconic sports stadium.
Okay, I'm imagining the MCG packed with cheering fans. What concept are we linking to this lively scene?
Picture the cricket field transformed into a giant laboratory, with scientists studying the gut microbiome.
The gut microbiome, that vast community of trillions of bacteria living in our digestive system, influencing our health in countless ways.
Exactly. Dr. Fung highlights the crucial role of the gut microbiome in our metabolic health, including insulin sensitivity.
So the health of our gut bacteria can actually impact how our bodies respond to insulin and processed food. That's amazing.
Precisely. And nourishing our gut microbiome with fiber-rich foods and fermented foods can help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, both crucial for weight management. Now let's move to our final stop for part 1 of our journey, memory slot number 10. Picture yourself strolling along the vibrant bohemian streets of Fitzroy, a trendy Melbourne neighborhood.
Okay, I'm picturing Fitzroy with its colorful street art and eclectic shops. What image will we create here?
Imagine coming across a community garden bursting with fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs. This represents whole, unprocessed foods. Dr. Fung advocates for a dietary shift away from processed, packaged foods and towards whole, nutrient-dense foods that support hormonal balance and satiety.
I love this image. It's like we've come full circle from that giant plate of white bread transforming into an insulin wave at the Sydney Opera House. Now we're focusing on nourishing our bodies with real whole foods that work with our hormones, not against them.
Exactly. It's about making sustainable dietary changes that support long-term health and weight management. Now, before we move on to part 2, take a moment to mentally walk through your memory palace. Revisit each location, recall those vivid images, and feel those connections solidifying in your mind.
All right, I'm ready to continue our Australian adventure through the Obesity Code. What's our next destination?
Let's journey back to Uluru, where we left that giant insulin molecule controlling the body set weight thermostat. For our 11th memory slot, picture this. The thermostat is starting to malfunction, its needle flickering erratically, getting stuck at a higher setting.
This represents insulin resistance, right? Our cells aren't responding to insulin as effectively as they should, and our bodies start pumping out even more insulin to compensate.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that Dr. Fung links insulin resistance to seemingly harmless culprit, frequent snacking.
Wait, so you're saying that even healthy snacks can contribute to insulin resistance? That's counterintuitive to what I've always heard about keeping your metabolism stoked by eating throughout the day.
That's a common misconception. Dr. Fung argues that constantly snacking, especially on foods that spike insulin levels, keeps those insulin levels chronically elevated, leading to insulin resistance over time.
So instead of grazing throughout the day, we should focus on giving our bodies a break from food.
Exactly. And that brings us to memory slot number 12, still at Uluru. Imagine the vast desert landscape, a symbol of emptiness and stillness. This represents intermittent fasting, a powerful tool to lower insulin levels and improve insulin sensitivity.
But I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. But what about exercise? Doesn't that play a role in weight management?
Absolutely, but perhaps not in the way we've traditionally thought. For memory slot 13, let's travel to the 12 apostles along the Great Ocean Road. Picture those majestic limestone stacks rising from the Southern Ocean. Now imagine surfers effortlessly riding those massive waves crashing against the apostles.
Wow, I can almost feel the spray of the ocean. What do those surfers represent?
Each wave represents a burst of intense physical activity. These waves are powerful, but they're also short-lived, just like the bursts of effort in high-intensity interval training, or HIIT.
So you're saying that short bursts of intense exercise, followed by brief recovery periods, are more effective than, say, an hour of steady-state cardio on the treadmill?
Precisely. Dr. Fung suggests that HII is more effective than long, steady-state cardio when it comes to improving insulin sensitivity and burning fat.
This makes sense. It's like those surfers giving it their all for a short period, then taking a break to catch their breath before riding the next wave.
Exactly. And just as those surfers need rest to perform at their best, our bodies also benefit from periods of rest and recovery. This ties back to the concept of intermittent fasting, giving our bodies a break from both constant food intake and constant physical activity.
Okay, let's keep exploring. Where to next on our memory boosting tour?
Let's head north to the Daintree Rainforest, the oldest tropical rainforest on Earth. For memory slot number 14, picture yourself walking through this lush, ancient forest, surrounded by incredible biodiversity. You come across a clearing and see a group of people engaged in a mindful eating exercise.
What does that look like? Are they meditating with their food?
They're sitting quietly, savoring each bite, paying attention to the textures, aromas, and flavors of their food. They're fully present in the moment, appreciating the nourishment their food provides.
They're not scrolling through their phones or shoveling food into their mouths without even tasting it.
Not at all. They're practicing mindful eating, bringing awareness to the act of eating.
I love this imagery. It highlights how mindfulness isn't just about meditation. It's about bringing that same awareness to all aspects of our lives, including eating. And how does this connect to the Obesity Code?
Dr. Fung emphasizes how this mindful approach to eating can help us tune into our body's natural hunger and fullness cues, preventing overeating and making healthier food choices.
So it's not about restricting ourselves or feeling guilty about enjoying food. It's about listening to what our bodies truly need and appreciating the experience of eating.
Exactly. Now for memory slot number 15, let's move to another tranquil setting. Wineglass Bay in Tasmania. Picture yourself standing on the shores of this pristine bay, the crystal clear water sparkling in the sunlight. You see a group of people practicing yoga on the white sand beach.
This sounds incredibly serene. What's the connection to the Obesity Code?
This image represents stress management. Dr. Fung emphasizes the importance of managing stress and regulating insulin levels. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that can lead to increased insulin production and, over time, insulin resistance.
So by incorporating stress-reducing activities like yoga or meditation, we can help keep our cortisol levels in check, which in turn supports healthy insulin levels and weight management.
Exactly. It's all about understanding those hormonal connections and how they impact our overall health and well-being. Now, for our 16th memory slot, let's shift to a more dramatic setting. The Great Australian Bight, known for its rugged coastline and towering cliffs.
Okay, I'm picturing the Great Australian Bight, those sheer cliffs plunging into the ocean. It's a powerful image.
Imagine a brilliant beam of light cutting through the darkness from a lighthouse perched on the edge of a cliff. This lighthouse represents the importance of sleep.
I see the connection. Dr. Fung highlights how sleep deprivation can disrupt our hormonal balance, leading to elevated cortisol and increased insulin resistance.
Precisely. Getting enough sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's a crucial part of maintaining a healthy hormonal environment that supports healthy weight management.
Right, our memory bus is rolling along, and I feel like we're covering so much ground. Where does our Australian expedition take us next?
Let's head inland to the Flinders Ranges, a breathtaking landscape of ancient mountains and vast plains. For memory slot number 17, imagine a state-of-the-art laboratory nestled among these rugged peaks where scientists are meticulously studying petri dishes filled with colorful bacteria.
Okay, I see those petri dishes teeming with microscopic life. This represents the gut microbiome, right?
Exactly. Dr. Fung points out that the health of our gut microbiome plays a significant role in our metabolic health, including insulin sensitivity.
So we're not just what we eat, but also what the bacteria in our gut eat.
Precisely. And by nourishing our gut microbiome with fiber-rich foods, prebiotics, and probiotics, we can support a healthy balance of bacteria that contributes to better insulin regulation and overall health.
This is so fascinating. It's like having a whole ecosystem living inside us, influencing our health in ways we're just beginning to understand.
Exactly. Dr. Fung encourages us to think of our gut microbiome as an ally in our weight loss journey, one that we can support through mindful food choices. Now let's move to memory slot number 18, still in the Flinders Ranges.
Okay, I'm picturing those ancient mountains, their slopes painted with the colors of the outback. What image will we create here?
Imagine a vast field of wildflowers, each one representing a different type of food. There are vibrant red poppies for fruits, sunny yellow daisies for vegetables, and deep purple lavender for healthy fats.
This is beautiful. And what does this field of wildflowers represent?
It represents dietary diversity, the importance of consuming a wide range of nutrient-rich foods to support optimal health and hormonal balance.
So it's not about eliminating entire food groups or following restrictive diets. It's about embracing a colorful palette of whole, unprocessed foods that nourish our bodies and keep our hormones happy.
Exactly. Now, for memory slot number 19, let's journey to Broome, a coastal town in Western Australia known for its stunning sunsets over the Indian Ocean.
Okay, I'm picturing Broome, those legendary sunsets casting a warm glow over Cable Beach.
Imagine yourself sitting on Cable Beach, watching the sky transform into a canvas of vibrant colors. There are deep oranges, fiery reds, and soft pinks, all blending seamlessly together.
I can practically feel the warmth of those sunset colors. What do they represent?
Each color represents a different aspect of a holistic approach to health. The orange represents nutrition, the red represents movement and exercise, the pink represents sleep and stress management.
I love this analogy. It highlights that achieving optimal health and sustainable weight loss isn't just about focusing on one thing. It's about addressing all aspects of our well-being.
Precisely. It's about finding balance, incorporating healthy habits into our daily lives, and prioritizing self-care.
Okay, before we move on to the final part of our journey, let's take a moment to revisit our memory palace, retracing our steps through those vivid Australian landscapes and reinforcing those powerful images in our minds. Wow, what an incredible journey through the Australian outback. I feel like I've not only explored some of the most iconic landmarks, but also gained a deep understanding of the Obesity Code, thanks to our memory palace.
It's amazing how these vivid images can help solidify complex information, making it easier to recall and apply to our own lives. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive, let's revisit a few key takeaways and see how they connect to the bigger picture of achieving sustainable weight loss.
I'm ready. I feel like I have all these puzzle pieces swirling around in my head, and I'm eager to see how they fit together.
Let's start by returning to that giant insulin molecule controlling the body set weight thermostat at Uluru, our very first memory slot. This image underscores Dr. Fung's central argument. Hormones, particularly insulin, play a crucial role in weight regulation. It's not simply about calories in, calories out.
And we saw how frequent snacking, especially on refined carbohydrates and sugars, can lead to insulin resistance, throwing that thermostat out of whack. It's like those refined carbs send our insulin levels on a roller coaster ride, leading to those energy crashes and cravings that make it so hard to maintain a healthy weight.
Precisely. And that's why incorporating intermittent fasting, represented by that vast, empty desert landscape, can be so powerful. By giving our bodies a break from constant food intake, we allow our insulin levels to drop, improving insulin sensitivity and helping our bodies shift from burning sugar to burning fat for fuel.
And what about those surfers effortlessly riding the waves of the 12 Apostles? That image really stuck with me, emphasizing the power of high-intensity interval training for boosting insulin sensitivity.
Exactly. Short bursts of intense exercise, like those powerful waves crashing against the Apostles, can be more effective than long, steady-state cardio when it comes to improving insulin sensitivity and burning fat.
It's like we're training our bodies to become more efficient at using and storing energy, just like those surfers train their bodies to ride those challenging waves.
Precisely. And just as those surfers need rest to perform at their best, our bodies also benefit from periods of rest and recovery. This ties back to the concept of intermittent fasting, giving our bodies a break from both constant food intake and constant physical activity.
And let's not forget that mindful eating exercise in the Daintree rainforest, where those individuals were fully present with their food, savoring each bite, and truly appreciating the experience of eating.
Absolutely. Mindful eating isn't about deprivation or guilt. It's about cultivating a deeper awareness of our body's signals, recognizing true hunger versus emotional eating, and making conscious choices that nourish and support our well-being.
Then there was that tranquil yoga session on the shores of Wineglass Bay, reminding us of the importance of stress management for regulating insulin levels. I've definitely noticed how stress can trigger cravings for sugary, comforting foods, leading to those unwanted insulin spikes.
It's amazing how interconnected our bodies are, isn't it? Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that can contribute to increased insulin production and, over time, insulin resistance. Incorporating stress-reducing activities like yoga, meditation, or even just spending time in nature can have a profound impact on our hormonal balance and overall health.
And speaking of hormonal balance, that powerful lighthouse cutting through the darkness at the Great Australian Bight served as a potent reminder of the crucial role of sleep.
Sleep is often overlooked when it comes to weight management, but it's absolutely essential. When we're sleep deprived, our bodies produce more of the stress hormone cortisol and less of the satiety hormone leptin, setting the stage for increased hunger, cravings, and ultimately weight gain.
It's amazing how all these pieces connect, isn't it? From what we eat to how we move to how we manage stress and prioritize sleep, it's all part of the bigger picture of achieving sustainable weight loss and optimal health.
And let's not forget the importance of nourishing our gut microbiome, that incredible ecosystem living within us, represented by those colorful petri dishes in the laboratory nestled in the Flinders Ranges.
Right. The health of our gut bacteria can actually impact how our bodies respond to insulin and processed food. It's like having trillions of tiny allies working behind the scenes to support our metabolic health.
Precisely. By incorporating fiber-rich foods, prebiotics, and probiotics into our diets, we can foster a thriving gut microbiome that contributes to better insulin regulation, reduced inflammation, and overall well-being.
And finally, that breathtaking field of wildflowers in the Flinders Ranges, with each bloom representing a different type of food, underscored the importance of dietary diversity. It's not about restriction, it's about embracing a vibrant array of whole, unprocessed foods that nourish our bodies and keep our hormones happy.
Exactly, and that stunning sunset over Cable Beach with its harmonious blend of colors served as a reminder of the power of a holistic approach to health, integrating healthy habits into all aspects of our lives.
So what does this all mean for us? How do we take all this incredible knowledge from the Obesity Code and turn it into actionable steps towards lasting change?
It starts with awareness. By understanding how our hormones, particularly insulin, influence weight gain, we can make more informed choices about our diet and lifestyle. Start by gradually incorporating more whole, unprocessed foods into your meals, prioritizing protein and healthy fats, and minimizing refined carbohydrates and sugars.
And experimenting with intermittent fasting, finding an eating pattern that allows our bodies to reset and improve insulin sensitivity. I have heard from friends who've had great success with time-restricted feeding, where they only eat within a specific window of time each day.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of stress management and prioritizing sleep. Incorporate stress-reducing activities into your routine, whether it's yoga, meditation, spending time in nature, or simply taking a few moments to breathe deeply and center yourself.
This has been such an eye-opening journey through the Obesity Code. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of weight loss and a renewed sense of hope for achieving lasting change.
That's fantastic to hear. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Start by incorporating one or two of these principles into your life and see how you feel. Be patient with yourself. Listen to your body's signals and celebrate those small victories along the way.
And as we drift off to sleep, let's visualize ourselves walking through our memory palace one last time, reinforcing those connections and embracing the power of knowledge to transform our health and well-being. Sweet dreams, and until our next sleep dive.